Aaron did not go all the way to check the pedestal.
Well, so starting off now, straight in Link's house, we have 20 rupees. AaronDobbe saving and quit straight away. Sorry, go ahead, Cliff.
Oh, no, that's fine. ozipone just heading up to check the uncle while Aaron going the other way. Oh, another 20 rupees up there.
Yeah, fairly common opening routes. One person heading up to the uncle, the other going up the more standard approach, back to Sanctuary, presumably checking up to the Lumberjack Cave. Just make all the rounds a nice little loop all the way through the Lost Woods into Kakariko Village.
Yeah, really the standard opening. I like the uncle play just because I'm loath to forget the escape, so I always want to get there as fast as possible. In the event there's a weapon at the uncle, just go straight there.
Sure. And then there's a number of things that could be considered weapons to at least get you through that first portion of escape. Cane of Burna even being one that's fantastic. Interesting to see that our bush crab is dropping bombs. That's one of the nicer things to see straight away. You want bombs early on. Of course, Kakariko has a multitude of places that you can use them.
Oh, yes,
so Aaron will be set for a bit.
8 in the early game to be completely and totally set.
It's a good portion of them.
That's even without using them as weapons for like the mini Moldorm cave or.
And that's a sketchy situation. It's very easy for them to just move out of the way quickly. You always hope that that's not going to be the case.
Oh yes, I've had lots of mini Moldorm trolls when I had to use bombs there before.
Lots of mini Think Dorm trolls. So Aaron hits his capacity of 10 bombs. That's a little bit further through. We find only a single arrow. That can just stay there for all eternity. Maybe that little stick of wood will grow into a tree in this forest at some point. Who knows?
ozipone finding just the broken heart at the Lumberjacks. So no Aghanim today, for at least for items.
Yeah, always a possibility. We'll see it for routing later. Interesting to see the thief on Aaron's screen. Taking on a little bit of a different colored scheme thanks to AaronDobbe's sprite.
Yes, the Inkling giving a little bit of a palette change to things.
It's always amusing for me to see exactly how some of the NPCs or even some of the bosses, Landmola notably, can take a little bit of a different approach to it. They can change color to match the sprite.
One of my favorites is the running man in Kakariko. He's got funny things sometimes.
You know, I find that usually his hat stays the normal color, or while his body changes. Maybe it's reversed, but it's not a full transition with him. It's pretty amusing.
Okay. And there's a sword and that cane of Brian we were talking about.
Oh yes. Plenty of money too with the 300, and another heart container.
Another 20
rupees.
That's 5 or 6 so far now.
Yeah, the most common item in the game. We'll see a number of those still as we progress through this.
There's ozipone getting the weapons.
And he'll be checking this back room as well. Flipper's in the bottom of the well for AaronDobbe. Nice thing to have so early, especially with the number of rupees that we have. It's going to lead them straight to the Zora.
Yes, with early flippers, as soon as I'm done at the mini Moldorm cave, especially with how much money they have, just straight up to the Zora area.
Yeah, you know, I can't remember the last time that Zora was actually worth anything. But when you have the money this early on, it's something that you want to go and take a look at.
With the waterfall cave being up there now, it's just more value than it was previously.
Yeah, that's absolutely for sure.
And this could be one of those cases where Moon Pearl's in the waterfall cave, so you don't have to fake Flipper in. It would be impossible. Not that they would need to, both having the flippers this early.
No, but that's an interesting point. A lot of runners do like to check that cave early once you have the Moon Pearl, but that fake Flipper glitch to quote-unquote water walk does not work unless you have the Moon Pearl.
Yes, because that's what causes the game to check your states when you leave caves. The lack of having it. Once you have it, boom, no more checks. So easy water walks. Aaron just finding another broken heart there in the library.
Sounds like a fairly depressing library.
A little bit.
Things will get better. They always do. Just another 3-pack of bombs in the race game. We'll save and quit straight out. And we will see AaronDobbe start back from Link's house.
Now the question is does he go north or south? And that's an easy answer. Straight south. There's all of the items still down there, and only 3 maybe in the front half of the escape.
Yeah, definitely one of the more standard plays that just comes straight down to the waterfall, or not the waterfall, the dam, and then to the mini Mulderum cave. Something I found from personal experience is that changing things up just a little bit in your opening sequences can just completely throw off your muscle memory. So
Definitely.
usually, depending on what you find, a lot of runners will stick with their normal route, even if they find the flute and the hookshot in Kakariko, although sometimes that might send you up to Death Mountain, for instance. But interesting to see, too, that ozipone decided to play the maze game, banking on there being a useful item there. Interesting strategy, and if it does pay off, then it's a decent time save early on.
I like it when you are leaving the village with at least 7 bombs. I'll do it every time. Or if I have the boots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boots definitely. It just makes it so quick that it's not really a loss if it's not correct.
And with all of the bombs here in the dam, no worries about needing more. Oh, and an 8-pack
especially
there.
after that. Wow.
Oh, and he's just, who needs them?
Only has 9 right now. I don't recall if he picked up a bomb upgrade yet to make that 8-pack worth it, but we see Quake and a red potion and the flute.
That's big. I would think with ozipone having 11 bombs, then Aaron would have also got the upgrade. Oh, Aaron's saving and quitting. Gonna go straight and activate that flute.
You know, I think that's a pretty decent play.
Yes,
Even if you want to go and check the Ice Rod Cave afterward, you can just fly there, and then once you're done, fly straight away.
Or from there, you could easily make your swim to Zora from Ice Rod Cave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, very true. I'll be curious to see if ozipone decides to do the same thing or take the walk over to the east.
And this will also give Aaron the chance to check the sick kid with the bottle.
Also, yeah,
also
that's
in
right.
Mini Mulderum Cave.
Because we did find that red bottle. And it looks like ozipone's just going to take a leisurely stroll over. Unfortunately, taking a little bit of a beating from the spiteful crow before he flies straight off. See 10 arrows on the Lake Hylia Island.
That crow has sniped me twice. I've died to him twice. I'll never forget both deaths to that stupid crow. Alright, the sick kid has for us just 20
Just
bucks.
another 20 rupees. You know, I know that the other day AaronDobbe wasn't feeling so well, and there was a joke that he was the sick kid then during a seed, so he just paid himself 20 rupees. Just a heart piece from the bridge hobo. Ozipone continuing to swim around.
Oh, we got a vanilla Eastern Palace.
I didn't even notice the map check.
And 3, and the red pendant desert. 3 is
Okay.
Hera.
Nice to see a couple of crystals in the light world. Or 1, I guess, is what it is. You said vanilla Eastern.
Vanilla Eastern, and then is red pendant vanilla? Oh, hey!
Wow.
The hammer in the Ice Rod Cave. That's huge. Oh, and the mirror on Ozipone's side in the Waterfall Cave.
A couple of interesting items all around. Although still fairly early on, I suspect that both runners will collect all of the above within a matter of minutes. Wow.
Yeah, I would expect so too. Especially with the flute get. I don't see Ozipone leaving Ice Rod Cave for too long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a solid list of items that you're happy to get early on, and flute, hammer, mirror, flippers, those are absolutely for the top.
Definitely. flute is probably the second best item you can find in the first 10 minutes behind the boots.
Now, I guess it's a fairly long list, maybe a dozen or so items that just make the early game feel so much better. Ozipone with the save and quit after getting just a little piece of love from King Zora.
Scamfish always giving out scams. Oh well, we know where the true value is.
I mean, at least
That's
they're
in
real
the water.
product. Even if they're not good items, at least they're real products. It's not like Bowser from Mario Party 1 just completely hosing everybody over.
Although if it was, you know, a red rupee, it's kind of the same thing. Just stealing 400 of your rupees.
That's a good point. Could be a little bit of a crossover there, in some weird sense, I guess.
Ozipone activating the flute now. While Aaron picks up the mirror and is on to the domain.
Interesting to see where he goes after this. Same for Ozipone. I suspect he'll grab the hammer relatively soon. East Death Mountain is a full option at this point.
It is.
Nice and early on.
And with the hammer, Aaron can kill Moldorm.
Very
I guess
true.
They both have swords too. Swords can kill Moldorm also. It just is a little easier with the hammer. Ozipone going to go through the dark here to get the old man.
Yep, fairly straightforward path on this one. One of the easier dark rooms, I think the consensus would be.
Definitely. It's just that one hole that you have to worry about falling in.
Yep. A couple of bats here and there, but for the most part, they stay out of your way. And once they hit you, they don't generally hit you again.
If you're using your sword to guide your way, they might just run into the sword anyway.
We've definitely had that happen before. So Mr. Old Man also having a heart piece. Thanks for saving me. I'm going home now, kid. Take a quarter of my heart.
Yep, here's a quarter heart and a respawn point. Thanks.
You are welcome. Pretty worth it, I would say.
Oh, definitely. The respawn point in and of itself is worth it. Aaron getting out of the mountain now also. Oh, hey, there's a book.
An interesting spot for that. Someone should return it to the library, but who knows what sort of a late fee there would be. Maybe we'll just keep it instead, read a couple of tablets.
Yeah,
Maybe
just
check the pedestal
avoid
later
going
on.
back to that library. They might take it from us, charge us like that Zora guy.
So Ozipone will pick that on up and immediately switch to it. One of the more recent features enabled in this randomizer is the ability to read what's on these tablets if you don't have the fighter sword. Just couch cash in this case. Not worth anything. If you have the Master Sword or above, though, you would not be able to read it. It would just activate as normal.
One of my favorite things in the newer version is that being able to read the tablets is a lot of fun.
It's just super convenient, is what it really is. Of course, there's times where I wish that I could just simply read the tablet instead of, activate it, but that's some wishful thinking on my part.
All right, well, Hera is fire locked, so we can't kill Moldorm right now. Sad days.
You know, I gotta think that that's actually one of the best scenarios. For a Crystal Dungeon, if you know that you can't beat it right now, then both runners are gonna face the same obstacle.
Sorry.
No, you go right ahead. Cut me off for that. What was on that one?
There's the bow right there on the desert ledge. Just sitting out there in the sun. Hope it doesn't crack when you try and shoot it.
Yeah, hopefully that string hasn't dried out. But you want to talk about the list of items you're happy to see sub 15 minutes. The bow is another one that, every one of these items can make a case for being one of the best to find early.
And with the hammer, Aaron can go over here to East Death Mountain. It might take him a little bit to get back over to the desert.
It's true. You know, for being only 15 minutes in, both runners have gone in different enough directions that this has actually been really, really interesting so far.
Yeah, definitely.
They've got a lot of options open to them, as we see. East Death Mountain, of course, has a lot to offer. Desert Palace is its own thing. So it's really cool to see the divergence so early.
That's going to mean with the big key there, the desert is not boots locked.
It's
So
not.
it'll be completable.
There's the Moon Pearl. Wow.
That's 2 huge items there in the desert area.
I would say so. Unfortunately, still missing the Power Glove to make that Moon Pearl really useful. And AaronDobbe getting beat up just a bit by those mini Maldorms in the Hookshot Cave. Got to be a little bit careful. This can be a very dangerous place.
That looked like just the dinner plate there on the torch there.
Now, what's a dinner plate doing up on a spot like that?
I have no idea.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Aaron here checking the Paradox Cave. Oh, hey!
There's the boots! Wow. You know,
Items everywhere.
maybe it's just me, but I feel like when runners go different paths, only one of them strikes gold. They're both finding such important items.
Yeah. We might have a jet seat on our hands here.
We might have a seed on our hands.
Yeah, fair enough. We still need lift upgrades though, so where will we find those?
Any number of locations. There's a lot of spots that they could be at this point. The entire sequence of Eastern Palace and Sahasrar's back room are still open. AaronDobbe gonna make an immediate play for the Bonk Rocks.
And with the bow, ozipone heading straight over to the Sahasrar's area. Now, with Eastern being green pendant, do you go straight into Eastern and then come back to Sahasrar's house? Or do you go in and then double dip it?
You know, I think in this case, Ozipone's making the better of the plays. Check back here first, and then go to to Eastern, and then back to Sahasrara. My reasoning for that is, I was just about to eat my own words there. Was that what I thought it was? Yeah, the Power Glove. If you don't have the glove, then yeah, I think it's generally a better idea to check Sahasrara's house first. Otherwise, normally you could just go all the way to the bottom right of the screen, lift that rock, and then defeat Eastern, and then go to Sahasrara's. It's just a little bit of a better sequence, but kind of interesting that that glove would be in there now.
Aaron checking out the Uncle Cave.
Now, I don't know if you noticed too, the tier 1 tree pull that he got was 80 rupees.
Oh, no, I did not. I saw the tree pull earlier was 4 small magics and just assumed that it was garbage.
Ah. See, I didn't notice that, so there are multiple tiers to it, and I'm not the best to explain them, but Aaron clearly taking advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely. There you go, Flaffy saying tier 1 was the small magic.
Ah, okay. Very possible. Blue male in the escape. Oh, that's a nice little sprite change for the Inkling. Pink hair.
And Ozipone here in Eastern. Gonna see what's in this, I call it the hookshot chest, since you can just hookshot across if you have it.
That's a nice little nickname for it. Makes a lot of sense. It's perfect.
But just 20 rupees there. I think that's the map in vanilla.
Yes, that would be the map in vanilla.
And a full heart container there for Aaron. So that's 2 items so far in this front half of the escape.
Mm-hmm. Not bad items either, by any means.
Oh, defense is always welcome.
Noting too, 9 hearts at 20 minutes.
9 hearts blue mail.
At 20 minutes.
Shouldn't have any troubles. Oh, and there's the map.
So unfortunately nothing of value right there, but using the mirror, it's a quick way to just get straight out of there. One of the best things to have during the escape sequence, I think.
Yes, the mirror is so nice for the escape. Oh, and now he's going straight to desert.
And I'm sure he's thrilled to see what's on that ledge.
Be even more thrilled to see the moon pearl, I'm sure.
And perhaps even more thrilled yet to see the dinner plate on the torch. He coined that term for it. So we'll see if he stops in and grabs that.
I mean, he's got to get the dinner plate on his way to Flavortown, right?
Oh my god. You didn't. Yeah. I guess he's got to do it for that.
I mean, it's kind of required. All right, so now in the big key chest here at Ozipone, we'll see a map.
A map to Flavor Not Town. I think we're gonna get fired, Clifford.
It was worth it.
You know what? I would agree. So
Here's the
Ozipone,
moon.
yep, getting the moon pearl. Ozipone about to enter what I would consider one of the more difficult of the dark rooms. The Popo behavior in this room is a little bit erratic, kind of unpredictable. Very, very RNG based. I don't think there is a pattern for them. And then, of course, finding the Igors, not always the easiest. It's one of those rooms that if you can knock it out quickly, then great. But the longer that you're in there, the more danger you're in.
Oh, you're spurning us.
Well, maybe he'll be
behind.
Maybe he'll be forced to get another one later on.
Yeah, we can only hope. But yeah, no problems for Ozipone there in that dark room. Makes quick work of the Igors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nicely done. Interesting to note, too, that the Igors, no matter what mail you have, will still do a full heart of damage. So that can be a very dangerous room under any circumstance.
Nice quick kill on the 2 red Igors in this room, too.
Yep, textbook. We've got 29 arrows for Armos. Going with the standard approach. Shoot 5 arrows right there. Ooh, almost getting to the top left in time. Still okay. Having those 2 left that are right next to each other makes that fairly easy. Still a very, very nice fight by Ozipone. Finding the hook shot of all things. Wow.
Another good find. So now we know the lamp is somewhere, maybe. Although I guess we know the lamp could be anywhere at this point in the dark world.
I'm trying to think of where it might be, because we still don't have access to a whole lot of other things.
It's probably, let's say, the middle of Skullwoods, the big key chest of Skullwoods.
It's very possible. Actually, I amend that. We do have access to the dark world as AaronDobbe's about to pick up his power glove. Ozipone still needs to get to the Ice Rod Cave and pick up the hammer, and then he'll have the same benefit.
Yeah, either the big key chest of Skullwoods or the chest with the turtles in the back of Pod. Those are both places that the lamp likes to hide.
Wow. Chad apparently pointed out that Sahasrara, the green pendant, had the Titan's mitts. As we see Ozipone now in the dark world from Village of Outcasts, lifting that heavy rock.
Yeah, I completely missed that. Well, that changes things.
That certainly does.
Now, when will Ozipone make it to the Ice Rod Cave?
It could put it off for a little bit longer. Now that basically the entire world is open to him. Why go for one isolated location? On the left, though, we do see a pedestal check from AaronDobbe.
Early. More couch cash. 2 book uses, both couch cash.
You know, maybe both of those would pay for the late fees for the book.
Maybe. I don't know if it'd be enough. Who knows how long that book's been up there on that mount.
You know, that library's never even had a librarian in it, so I don't think that they're too concerned about it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Aaron heading now into the Dark World after checking the pedestal.
Yep, answering a question in chat. The lamp cannot be behind the Titan's mitts or the hook shot. Could still be almost anywhere in the Dark World because with the hammer and power glove, AaronDobbe does have access to it just as well.
And Aaron now, who knows how long it'll be until he gets over to Eastern for the mitts.
You know, that's another really valid point. Because with mitts, hookshot, and Moon Pearl, albeit a sequence break, pretty much everything on East Dark Death Mountain is open now as well.
This is going to be a fun next few minutes.
I think it's going to be a fun next hour or so, even.
If it's anything like the last one was, and it certainly is looking like it, it's going to be fun right up until the very, very end.
See Shape House only having an arrow upgrade. We see a bomb upgrade on the Bumper Cave. So cape not required. AaronDobbe going to make a play on Thieves Town though.
Looks like Ozipone's heading straight back into Village of Outcasts as well.
You know, even though each runner is missing an item or so that the other runner doesn't have, they've both made some really good choices at this point, and they're following their gut. Can't disagree with anything. They're both about, you know, we're almost a half hour, and you obviously can't tell who's going to win, but they're about equal, I would say, just based on their inventories, just being a little bit different from each other.
Yeah, it's completely and totally just different at this point. Usually you say if you get the boots super early, that's a huge advantage, but with the mitts being where they are, it's so hard to say. They're very even.
Master Sword in Thieves Town, vanilla big key chest. That'll certainly be a good help.
Makes taking down the blue horse guys a little bit easier.
Yeah, the red horse guys, and I think even the little grasshoppers are still going to take 2 hits. Having a little bit of trouble picking up that skull pot for that small key. Doing a little bit of a dance next to it, perhaps a ritual of some sort.
Hoping to maybe summon something good up into the room above it, maybe?
Maybe he's going to summon a... Maybe he's going to summon a boss into that room eventually.
Well, we can only hope.
And he's probably going to even manipulate it so that the boss says something really, really dorky beforehand.
Oh.
Just a hunch. I mean, I've never seen this game before. I don't really know.
I don't know either. Let's see. We'll have to find out. Ozipone coming down, gonna get the Master Sword here also very shortly. Just a compass up in that room with the second part of the boss ritual, maybe? Throwing a bomb randomly?
No, it's like step 2 out of 3 for summoning this thing. Making quick work through the dungeon though. Those boots definitely putting more of a distance between him and Ozipone.
It just goes so fast, especially in the long rooms like the Hellway. Boots just... I mean, the hook shot helps a lot, since you can grab onto things and pull yourself along.
Yeah, definitely. So I didn't happen to notice, though, did we get both the map and the compass? Are we going to see a big chest check here? I guess we are.
We've definitely seen the compass, at least.
And
map is still in my...
could be the map, then. It's not. It's Just as bad, though.
Almost worse. Ozipone coming in to set the bomb stage of the ritual.
AaronDobbe setting himself up for this. Being crushed by objects is depressing. I don't think I've seen that one before. Making quick work of the first blind head. Blind, only taking 3 hits per phase, no matter what strength sword you have, no matter what strength anything attacks it. As we see AaronDobbe using Cane of Burna strats on it. You can just kind of walk around the room with it. It'll hit it in fairly quick succession. And that's it. Blind is down already.
And there's a crystal. First crystal of the run. While Ozipone's heading down into the basement.
Making good use of the hook shot. Just getting that red horse head to stay out of his way.
Yes, lots of great hookshot use here from Ozipone in this dungeon.
You know, I haven't happened to notice what the stun prize pack is. I don't know if that's come up. Have you noticed anything?
I haven't noticed anything that made me say, hey, that's really good, so...
I can't think of anything that they particularly need that the stun pack would benefit from, but... you know, it's just one of those things that's always a curiosity.
Need arrows is what our lovely restreamer is telling us.
Okay, that's sufficient.
Yeah, that definitely don't want to run out of arrows.
AaronDobbe digging all of the holes. Found what it was supposed to be. Didn't quite notice it. Just a red rupee. All that work is for
red rupees. First 2 phases of blind down easy for Ozipone.
Taking a little bit of damage on this 3rd phase. These things move around like crazy. Ozipone did not have the benefit of the blue mail, but still made very quick work of blind.
Nice fight. Yes, and Aaron without the mitts can't pick up the frog. So no chest world tour at this point.
You know, I suppose that makes sense. I know of some frogs that have, like, poisonous skin, so you definitely want to make sure you have a good pair of mitts on before you go and pick them up.
Yeah, power gloves just not good enough. Not what, sanitary, safety enough, not safe enough.
It goes against OSHA standards, I guess. But we see AaronDobbe checking out the original Hype Cave. It'll be difficult for it to match what was in the mini Maldrum Cave.
No.
In this
Flute
case.
and a red potion, both great. And knowing what we know, what could be there. Heart piece, red rupee so far.
Sufficiently nothing, I would say. Not that a heart piece is bad. You're always going to be at least happy to... No, well, maybe not happy, but tolerant, I guess, of a heart piece.
Yeah. Especially before you get to the 2nd row. Now that he's got to the 2nd row, probably be a little more... Alright, I don't need any more of these. Ozipone gonna check the blacksmith frog here.
Good thing to do while you're here. Although another unfortunate side effect of the route divergence earlier, which of course was still fantastic, is that Ozipone not having the hammer is not going to be able to check the hammer pegs at the moment. Whereas if AaronDobbe had the Titan's mitts, he would have, but alas he does not, and he's not able to do any of that just yet.
It's going to make for even more interesting routing decisions later.
Yeah, it just heightens the curiosity to know when these runners are going to head back to check some of these locations. Even if we get the answer of what's where.
Alright, so Aaron's going to check out the catfish here. while Ozipone's grabbing the purple chest and heading south. And another full heart from the catfish.
Another one. Up to 12 hearts already.
35 minutes into the run, 12 hearts. Seems good.
Seems very good.
Especially with all these items that we know where they all are. Alright, so Aaron heading here to pod. Looks like.
Interesting to see this play right now, although I could very easily suspect to play on Eastern as soon as he's done with it. Which is actually going to be a good thing for Aaron. It'll send him straight back into the direction that he needs to go.
And having the hammer can finish it. I'm always of the opinion that you should try and finish dungeons that you can immediately.
Oh no! Bye, Kiki. See you in about 3 seconds.
And I also happen to think that pod is the best play in V27, just regardless.
It's been alarmingly good. It really has.
I think with the changes to the way they have the bow, took all the value out of Skullwoods and shifted it over to pod. Oh, and 300 rupees, all we're going to get for taking the lunchbox back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that AaronDobbe was able to do the tablet, though, or he would have been able to. Did he do it? I didn't notice.
He did not come over here.
Perhaps thinking it's one of those locations that you don't want to have to go back to. Might as well wait until you can knock out both things at once.
Now there's another small key for Aaron. 2 so far, out of the 6 that are in this dungeon. Ozipone trying to go to the Dark World, but realizing without the hammer, can't get there. So fluting to Death Mountain instead. The hook shot gives him full access to the east side of Death Mountain. And Dark Death Mountain with the mitts too.
That's true, and we do remember that his boots were over here, or will be over here.
Yes.
They're not his just yet.
It was a great play from Ozipone.
Interesting that technically everything he's about to get is a sequence break, since Hookshot was locked behind the lamp.
But at the same time, it's not, because we know the hammer is in sequence. But for him, he will think it's a sequence break.
Yeah. Again, just interesting to see how different routes can still wind up leading things together, whether it be quote-unquote in sequence or not.
Definitely. And especially with something like the lamp counting for sequences with the top players, because most top players can do all of the dark rooms with no sweat, except for maybe Aga Tower. There's the boots.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Aga Tower is one that anybody would rush to learn for the hopes of an advantage in a randomizer seed, but
if you're doing Aga Tower in the dark, you're probably doing something wrong, is my thoughts.
I'm trying to think of a point where it would actually be beneficial. You would have to know that something is in the tree that's, like, of the utmost importance. And, yeah, I don't know. It would be such a unique case.
Alright, Ozipone going straight back into the Dark World here. Aaron having found all the keys in the front half of pod. He had 4, now he's got 3.
Still no sign of the big key, so he's gonna head to the right first. And now
hey!
Is that the one that you called?
Yes.
Oh my.
That was one of the 2 chests I said it was probably it.
I don't even know what to say to that. I think we'll definitely see a play on Eastern after this now.
Yeah, I don't see any way he doesn't go that way.
That's That's not a nice location for the lamp, in my opinion.
No, not at all.
I mean, it kind of is because you're really happy to see it right before the pod dark rooms, but it's like, really? Here, of all places?
Yeah, right. I was only mostly joking when I said that.
Emphasis on mostly or joking?
Mostly. All right, so the hookshot cave.
Fire rod in the bottom. Well, it's not dark anymore. In the bottom of the maze for Aaron.
Well, there's some huge progression there in pod.
And the hookshot cave looked to be
and the fire rod in pod. Both the fire sources are in pod.
Interesting connection that I didn't make. That opens up quite a bit. Desert is beatable, although pendant. We know that the pedestal's not anything. Skull Wood's now accessible.
Hera's climbable with one more item we know is still in Tower of Hera.
That's true.
We know
and if they
bust at this point, we've seen both items there.
And I think if they really wanted to, Ice Palace is going to become an option.
Oh yes, Ice Palace, that does open Ice Palace too. Ozipone heading straight to Mire.
Good choice. Take a look at that medallion requirement. Get some information on it.
All 3 items outside of Mire here also. Is that Bombos? I couldn't tell. He swam by so fast. Oh no, it's Quake.
Did go by it pretty quickly. I couldn't quite tell immediately, but was it Quake?
It was Quake. I saw it on the main restream.
Ah, okay.
All right, let's see here. What do we have in the checkerboard?
Another heart container.
Game really wants them to be healthy today.
They are going to be everywhere except for at the bosses, I suspect, because we've almost found all of them already.
No, Ozipone heading back into the Dark World. You see a North Dark World check here, maybe? He hasn't done the bonk rocks, so it could be a play for the ledges and the boot spots.
Yeah, definitely, because this opens up the graveyard ledge as well as the King's Tomb. So 3 locations in a relatively quick amount of time.
And then that routes itself over to the catfish with the flippers.
It definitely can. That's true. He'll just get his piece of heart from the bonk rocks. And Aaron breaks off Helma's shield. Decides to go with the arrow route. Arrow strat, I should say. It's not really a route. I believe it's 8 arrows. 8 regular arrows that work on him.
I think it's 8.
And either way, quickly, Helmsword King goes down for a compass.
But more importantly, that crystal.
That puts Aaron up to 2 crystals at the roughly 44-minute mark.
And another heart container there in the graveyard ledge.
Okay, I was curious about that one. What it would be. It's an elusive spot. I've had some things be there that have cost me runs.
Aaron's fluting away from Eastern.
Oh, was that the shovel? And yes, he is. Curious what's on his mind right now then. Probably Tower of Hera. Not a bad play, even though we know that Eastern holding the hookshot and subsequently the Titan's Mitts from Sahasrara with the green pendant. AaronDobbe electing to go for the crystal dungeons, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Some people play proximity, some people go straight to the crystal dungeons as they're beatable.
And it's not the hardest part to get back to Eastern either, with a quick flute to 5.
Yep. Flute to 5, pick up that rock that we were talking about earlier, and just head straight north.
No, Ozipone. Where does ozipone head next? That's the real question.
Escape, perhaps.
Like we're gonna see the front half of escape here for ozipone. Gonna get that blue mail and another heart container. Yes, I would almost guarantee that Aaron goes to Skullwoods before heading back to Eastern. Because we've only seen one item in Skullwoods so far, right? Just the piece of heart, and Aaron didn't even go up.
I think so, yeah. And there's not really any concern of going to Skullwoods at this point. With 12 hearts, blue mail, Master Sword's not the most ideal for Mothula, but with Fire Rod and Half Magic, I think things are going to be just fine.
Yeah, it should. Half Magic makes the Mothula fight a lot simpler.
Mm-hmm. And to top it all off, it would be another crystal in very quick succession. So why not?
Now ozipone about to grab that heart container. And we know that since he got 3 items in the back half, then the key is going to be in the dark, right? And now he's realizing that also, because there's the map is in the cell chest there. So.
Yep. Oh, that's very, very good item counting by ozipone.
Pod is just so far out of the way if you just have the Titansmiths to get back over to. I would assume that would probably be one of the next plays we get for ozipone after the shovel here, but it's just takes so long to route back to Pod when your only access to the Dark World is up by Kakariko Village.
Yeah, it's not the most ideal for sure, especially not even having the Aghanim portal, which we're not going to see at all in this run. But there he is, fluting to 8. Okay, so we might see Pod a little bit sooner now from ozipone.
I was going to be very, very happy right here.
You know, a lot of Randomizer is a mental game as well as the execution of the routing and the gameplay. When you find the hammer in a location that's accessible so early, at about 50 minutes, you almost have no choice but to feel a bit behind. And we just have to hope that that's not the case. Just keep on going, ozipone. You're doing just fine.
Definitely in this point. Meanwhile, Aaron finding a sword upgrade in Tower of Hera to go with his crystal, so he's now tempered.
That's really cool.
So that will make the moth fight just a little bit easier.
Yeah, because the jump from Master Sword to tempered is one of the best offensive. Actually, I would even say it is the best offensive upgrade that you'll get in the entire game.
Oh, without a doubt. It is so huge.
Using the Cane of Burna now with 1 heart left. We'll see what's in the Cane of Burna cave. Just 300 rupees.
ozipone getting disappointed by the old Hive Cave.
It's really just the cave at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, the swamp cave there in Dark World Swamp. And we could see a swamp play here from ozipone too.
You know, that's an interesting point. The dungeon is open, it's accessible, it's beatable. Since we have the hookshot, hammer, flippers, and mirror, all that you really need to get through this dungeon.
And if you were looking for something that made you not want to do dark rooms for whatever reason, I could see coming here first.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in terms of item density too, you've got 6 items in the dungeon. Even though it's a bit of a long, strenuous clear, the density could make it worth it. We may wind up seeing 1 or 2 good things here.
We definitely could. We definitely still need the red cane for sure. And I think that's all that we really need for go mode.
You know, I think you're right, actually. Presumable go mode, anyway. I mean, you never know what might be hidden where.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, you could still need something to get in somewhere else. Like,
Although-
Trinex could still. Well, I guess Trinex couldn't have the red cane. That
Yeah, I was just about to amend my own statement. Having the red cane, Cane of Samaria, being the only thing we really need, that I don't know, that's apparent to us right now. It can't be in Turtle Rock anywhere, at all.
not. All right, and now Ozipone about to have to do the second of the water drains for Swamp Palace. That's my least favorite part, is having to wait for the water to drain. Just sitting there, staring at nothing.
I mean, the least they could have done is maybe change the orientation of where the water's coming in from, give it a little bit different scenery between the two of them. But the rooms just seem so similar to me.
They really are. Aaron setting up that bomb jump for just the small key.
And, you know, each runner is still looking for a couple of things individually. Aaron still needs the hook shot and the Titan's mitts, while Ozipone needs the fire rod. I suppose Aaron needs the Cane of Samaria as well. Well,
Yeah.
Ozipone needs the fire rod and Cane of Samaria. So, while some runners would choose to basically go mode Swamp Palace, only looking for one item, we know that there's only one item left, collectively. Unfortunately, not having that knowledge, Ozipone making the very logical choice to head to the left side of Swamp and check those two chests.
Yes, even if just coming down here to drain the water without having opened the big chest, then coming back in later, it's still faster to drain the water here first. Even if he doesn't go over to the left side.
That's an interesting point. Because even after beating the boss and leaving the dungeon, as long as you don't screen transition, that water is still going to be drained.
And you will be able to swim over. But he's going to go ahead and check the left side anyway. While we have Aaron heading into the back of Skullwoods.
And half magic fire rod, tempered sword now, to upgrade it from our previous discussion. This torch room, the Gibdos, Mothula, all going to be fairly cake for AaronDobbe.
I'll be surprised if he even has to use the fire rod in this fight, honestly.
Actually, it can't be cake for him. He never got the dinner plate.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're going to eat it with your hands, which, I mean, it gets messy, but it still tastes the same, right?
Oh, hey, and there's the big key on the left side, so...
Yeah, that's not so bad, then. You can just check the big chest straight on your way back.
Aaron the first thing, try to spin on Mothula, which won't work with the tempered sword. They only fix the gold sword damage for the gold sword itself, not for spins with the tempered.
Now that's an interesting... Oh my god, okay,
Oh, wow. There you go.
There you go. Have your cake and eat it too. Wow. I completely forgot what else I was going to say now. That was amazing.
Well, there he goes. And now Ozipone going towards the back of Swamp Palace, only finding the 5-bomb upgrade in the big chest, but with the big key on the left side, don't have to worry about diving back in the dungeon a second time. And another water drain scene for Ozipone. This one a little faster.
A little bit more satisfying too. It's that change of scenery. It's just that central middle drain.
And just a heart container. No, heart piece. And the compass. Okay.
Alright, so where's Aaron going now? What did he forget in the Skullwoods area? Oh, he's using it as a shortcut. I think it actually is faster to head through this way to get to the north area of the field. I'm just going to call it the field. I don't know what it... Overworld. That.
It definitely looks like Bumper Cave and probably the North Dark World stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he'll see the bomb upgrade on top of the bumper ledge.
Murder dactyls.
Not quite as bad with blue mail, but still, 2 hearts is pretty threatening if you're not too careful.
Ozipone pulling 2 puffs at once here.
Nicely done.
Here we can see another heart container.
Now I wonder if he picks it up at this point. I think probably yes, and there he goes.
You've already spent so much time getting into the cave, might as well.
It's true. It's not any actual time lost to just grab it, take those 2 seconds.
And some nice spin strats there to take down Argus on the right side for 10 bomb upgrade. But the crystal, very important. Unfortunately, not working out for any progression in Swamp today.
Unfortunately not. But it makes me curious to know where each runner is going to head to next. We know what they're missing. I suspect AaronDobbe is going to make a play on Swamp. Or even, no, he can't do Ice Palace yet, not without the Titan's Mitts. I could see him going to Swamp before Eastern. Very, very easily. And as for Ozipone, heading into Pod, he'll find the Lantern and Fire Rod in just a couple of minutes here.
This is a great play for Ozipone. I would be a little surprised to see Aaron going into Swamp without the hook shot, but I could see with the first half of it having so many items anyway that.
Oh, you know what? That's
right.
right.
A good play.
He doesn't have the hook shot, does he? No, yeah, I changed my mind. I don't think he's gonna go to Swamp. Not anymore.
We shall see. Gonna check the shovel, get that 100 rupees beforehand anyway. The only 100 rupees in the whole game. Well, outside of the chess game. I guess they have some there.
True. I don't know that the game counts those as actual like collectible items though.
I don't think it does.
What's that?
I don't think it does. I've seen multiple single arrows in a run because of the chess game, so I think it's on its own separate list.
A little bit curious. I think Aaron just slipping on a little bit of muscle memory to enter the Dark World from flute number 5. He is heading to Eastern Palace now.
Oh, yes. We'll be very happy when he gets in here, finds his hook shot. Then I don't see any way he doesn't go straight to Sahasrara's house being right next door.
No, he's absolutely going to check that.
So, here in just a little bit, we'll have both runners caught up with all of the items together.
We will. However brief, I think this is actually going to give us our first decisive lead for the race, though, once Aaron finds the Titan's Mitts and hook shot.
Yes, he will have a little bit of a crystal lead.
And then at that point, all that's really left for him would be Swamp Palace and Ice. Although Misery Mire is accessible, there's only 2 items in that dungeon. 2 non-dungeon items, I should say, to be specific. That's not something that most people are going to want to go to without their Cane of Samaria.
No, definitely not. Going into Mire without the cane is like going into Swamp without the hook shot, except infinitely worse.
That's a really good comparison, though. They're both bad. I think Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod is even better than those 2.
Even Turtle Rock without the Fire Rod's better than those 2, I think.
That one might be pushing it a little bit, but you could make a case for it.
Maybe a little bit. there's just a piece of heart there for Aaron. As he cuts around through the dark rooms that won't be dark for him since he has the lamp, which ozipone is about to get right here. No more dark rooms for him either.
Oh, you know, it's in that very same chest, too. It's as if you called it to be there.
I willed it there from that ritual they were performing in Thieves Town. Alright, now Aaron coming around to the vanilla big key chest here. Gonna try and damage boost his way onto that button. Luckily has all of the hearts, so no real worries. Anti-Fairy's doing 1 heart of damage no matter what kind of mail you have also.
True fact. It's one of those interesting mechanics that this quote-unquote higher defense isn't actually helping you in some cases.
Ozipone with the even 1,000 rupees. 1 more than the vanilla maximum.
And we see the difference between no light and the tempered sword for that dark Igor room.
Just 1 quick slash takes him down. And now the red Igor does need the bow to kill him.
Yep, that's the only item that it's vulnerable to. Also cool to note the extended reach of the tempered sword, making the Stalfos a lot easier to hit. Oh, not quite getting that 4th arrow shot onto the Igors.
Cleans it up 2nd try. Picks up all the arrows in that room anyway. Goes ahead and gets a nice big boost from 20 to 40.
And we'll see Aaron take a different approach on Armos, going more of an Ice Armos kind of strategy, and that's working out pretty well for him.
Yeah, nice easy.
There's that hook shot.
Nice easy hook shot.
Really wonder what's on his mind right now. Because again, kind of the same thing with ozipone and the hammer. This is something that's been available to him for, I don't know, at least a half hour or thereabouts.
Yeah, at least. I bet he's thinking, oh man, I should have been here. I should have mirrored and gone straight in. I had the lamp. I should have just done it. That would be my thoughts at this point. Especially right now. That's the point where
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm so far behind.
So then the question is, Clifford, Swamp Palace or Ice Palace?
I would rather full clear ice than full clear swamp any day.
Or, you know, same thing I said with ozipone. Good play on this. Get the information, that knowledge. See what the medallion is for your last crystal.
I actually would probably go Dark Death Mountain before either of them.
So
Now that I
ozipone.
have non-access.
Ozipone entering the Helmasaur fight. You see him holding his sword out as he gets these hammer slashes. It actually extends the hitbox range of the hammer itself, as well as preventing you from turning into the other direction after hitting the Helmasaur mask. So you can just keep hitting them. It's really, really nice, really simple. 17 quick hits, knocks the mask off, and it'll take 8 slashes with the Master Sword.
The ender of vanilla runs right here, the Helmasaur King.
He's the king for a reason. Really, really nice fight by Ozipone.
With blue mail and 12 hearts, the fight is significantly easier. And we are getting, it looks like, the swamp play from Aaron.
That's interesting because he loves Ice Palace. Don't bully Ice Palace, he always says. You know? Showing his preferential treatment for the melted Ice Palace instead.
And now Ozipone with both fire sources. We're going to see straight up to Hera here. No, Skullwood's first.
Skullwoods. Yeah, that's always a toss-up. I mean, he surely remembers that he's going to have to go to the basement and sit through the tile room. Knowing that Aaron had to do the exact same thing, it's not any actual time loss or a gamble.
And knowing knowing that you've already got one item out of there, I could see Ozipone trying to save Hera for the final crystal, just so he can mirror back out of there and into Ganon's tower.
Sure, that makes perfect sense. Smart play if that's exactly what he's thinking.
The only downside of that, as we know, is the Tempered Sword's in Tower of Hera, so it'll make the rest of the game a little harder.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit of a setback. Although, let's think about it. Mothula is going to be the biggest challenge out of what's left for him. Even Cold Stare with half magic and Fire Rod, the sword that you have isn't going to be too much of a factor.
Nope. And with Vitreous, you got arrows and spin strats with
right.
the worst.
And we could very easily find another sword between now and then, as it is.
Oh, definitely. Swords could still be hiding in Ice Palace or Mire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. The 2 dungeons that we haven't seen, well, 3 technically if we count Turtle Rock, but we know that because of what we're looking for, being the Cane of Samaria, we will probably almost certainly not see the inside of Turtle Rock at all.
If we see the inside of Turtle Rock, something has gone horribly wrong.
And if so, I would like to know what has gone horribly wrong.
Ozipone getting trolled a little by Moth movement. Staying up on those spikes at the top, making it hard to get hits in.
And the spikes themselves aren't even moving in a very cooperative manner. Of course, the longer the fight goes on, the more spikes move, the faster they move. Down to 2 hearts now. Everything in, down to 1 heart. Got him, nice. Nice, Ozipone.
The potion. That's excellent. Now picks up his dinner plate.
Because there's another situation. Those spikes are going to do 1 heart of damage no matter what. And with Blue Mail, anything from Mothula will do 1 heart. So it was just a matter of the number of hits that you can take. And Ozipone comes out clutch with another crystal.
So now Ozipone probably heading to Ice Palace from here?
Well, if we're following NMG, then Ice Palace is right after Skull Woods, but obviously this is not the case.
Now looks like we're getting the Hera play.
Hera play and then possibly Spike Cave. I think that's all for Ozipone left on the mountain.
Aaron trying to open the big chest, finding out he's missing something.
Did not find the big key to Swamp Palace in Ganon's Tower.
Not today. And here goes Ozipone straight into Tower of Hera. Not gonna wait and save it for last. Let's go get that Tempered Sword.
Certainly going to be a relief to find that. And refresh my memory, was it Maldorm that had it?
I believe so. It was definitely up on the top half of the Hera. I wasn't exactly sure where it was.
Ozipone taking advantage of the blocks. It'll keep you in a perpetual state of iframe, so you can just stand here and let these tiles base plant you and not feel a thing. It's pretty great.
Not too terrible at all. With the Fire Rod having to switch to it anyway, doesn't even really cost any menu time.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. It was the chest in front of the big chest, the vanilla compass chest.
Ah, okay. Both players getting big keys almost simultaneously. So, when Aaron gets done with Swamp and Ozipone finishes off Tower of Hera here, we'll be dead even.
You know, you're right about that. Oh wow, that's neat.
We have a race on our hands here.
And I suspect that they're both going to go to Ice Palace because of the aforementioned reasons of why would you go to Misery Mire without the Cane of Samaria. On the other hand, for Ozipone, knowing that this is kind of stay alive or get knocked out, do you make a gamble like that? Do you make a play for that?
Ozipone hitting the bumper there, just barely missing the clips or the skip, whatever you call that.
Yeah, you can dash, you can even walk right through the top few pixels of those bumpers. It's a little bit wonky to look at because it doesn't look like it should ever work. So you kind of want to make yourself go down a little bit further, but I don't know. It's one of those plays where it's kind of an optical illusion.
Just a little bit. And a nice swing and a spin, and down goes the Troll Dorm.
You know, I would say it'd be nice if you could knock him down on one of his own pits, but then I guess the boss fight would never end. 'Cause it's not like he's gonna come back upstairs. He won't fit in the staircase.
A true Troll Dorm. Alright, and with that, we're gonna see him checking out the Spike Cave probably. While you're right here, might as well.
And we see too just how much quicker the Argus fight is, having Tempered Sword over Master Sword.
Yeah, just one little slash as opposed to two, or a spin.
Now it's just another one of those examples.
Aaron getting his 10 bomb upgrade.
Ozipone barely launching that Cane of Burna just in time. Not what he was looking for, but still. Gotta press onward. So what is next for our runners? Start off on the Mountain Cave just to get a quick heal, switch to the Flute.
Flute to 8.
Oh, Aaron hasn't done Dark Death Mountain yet.
Oh, we're definitely going to go check the Dark Death Mountain.
And we know that the Cane of Samaria is not going to be there, so that's going to put him a little bit behind Ozipone at this point.
Yes, it will. Put him behind the time it takes to check the 7-8 items up there.
I mean, certainly can't fault the idea.
Oh no, I like to treat Dark Death Mountain as if it was its own little dungeon, quote unquote.
Sure, that's a fair point. I mean, hoping that you'll find that last item up here certainly beats needing to full clear the Ice Palace. If you can go mode it, just like Swamp, it's just so much quicker than needing to check every chest.
Especially after just having full cleared Swamp. Just for nothing. I could see this. Alright, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to go check Dark Death Mountain. And then,
Yeah, you don't want to do another...
Okay, I guess I'm going to go do that again.
You don't want to do another grueling, long, full clear of a dungeon if you don't have to. So as upon finding the big key in the very first chest, might help him out a little bit. It's not the same as finding a small key straight away, but still not bad.
No, definitely not. Gonna set up this Stalfos room, my favorite room in the whole dungeon to do correctly, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's a fun one to execute.
It's probably one of my favorite rooms in the whole game to execute correctly. It just feels so satisfying.
And I think he's got it. Yep, nice bomb jump by Ozipone. First try every time.
Having the hook shot there makes it easy. Just hook shot across, right out of the room. And now here comes Aaron, following right in his footsteps.
So at this point then, only behind for the amount of time that it takes to get through Ice Palace. They'll be in the same dungeon with the vast majority of it to be cleared. It's going to be really, really close as we wind this down.
Well, the first race was too, so I'm just very excited. No, I don't believe Aaron has done the frog purple chest blacksmith area at all.
That's correct. He did not, because he did not have the Titan's mitts. And on that note, neither runner has done the hammer pegs that are in that same spot.
That's right. The cane could just be sitting there. That would be dumb.
You know what? Finding powder in this in the Ice Palace would actually be a pretty decent thing if it does send them there.
Yeah.
And then it happens to be on the magic bat for the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, and it puts them right there next to the peg game too.
Nope, still not finding it.
Have we found any items over here? No, just keys and a map. And a big key.
You might be right. It's been a little tough to see exactly what's been pulled out, but I see that we have 2 small keys. I know we have the big key.
Wait, that's all the dungeon
He's got
items.
them. Yeah, wow, he's got everything. Oh,
Oh no.
Jump. So there's 3 locations left. We know that all 3 of them are going to be items. I don't even need to say what that was.
Yep. We're gonna get to go see the magical bat, man. Amazing. Here, go fetch.
You know, it's too bad that we are just looking for the Cane of Samaria, because it would be pretty cool to see someone fake powder the bat. Not that I would know what that's like or anything.
Oh, just
5
a 5
arrow
arrow
upgrade.
upgrade.
So Cold
Yeah.
Stare's going to have something then.
Yes, Gold Steer has an item.
Great use of the hookshot by ozipone to get through that annoying ice room.
That was very good. He's had great hookshot use all night long, from the moment he got it.
Yeah, he's definitely been on top of that. Having that so much earlier than he got the boots, that's a very, very convenient way to move around the overworld. There's a lot of things that it can stick to and pull you to.
And it definitely helped negate a lot of the normal quote-unquote boot advantage that you would have, because he was on point with the usage. Now a Gold Stair fight. Got trolled a little bit by the falling ice.
Down to 3 hearts. Got to be careful. I believe that the Cold Stare Big Puffs at this point will kill him in 1 hit. Although he's taking him down nicely.
Yeah, no need to worry. At 3 hearts, just quick work with the fire.
Convenient spot to fill another heart container, though, with a heart piece.
You know, game just wants you to be happy and healthy.
That's true. So what does that leave us with for Ozipone, as he's got crystal number 6 now? I believe Misery Mire and Hammer Pegs.
And the magic bat.
And the Magic Bat.
That's about it.
And those are close enough, they're quick enough to do in succession that we'll probably see that before going to Misery Mire.
Yep, looks like that's what we're getting right now.
Well, this makes me wonder. It's getting down to the wire, kind of bottleneck, just to find this cane.
It's got to be around here somewhere. There's 4 item locations it could be. Well, I guess Misery Mire has more than 2 locations. Just there's 2 items there.
That's correct.
It's really closer to what? 7 item locations?
It's got to be at least that, I would think, in total, in the total number of chests in that dungeon. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with Vitreous.
6 places it could be in, and just the red rupee at the hammer pegs. All right, let's see what the bat has for us.
Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat right now, just waiting for this. Just this animation just takes too long. What's it gonna be? Kana Samaria. There it is. We have go mode for Ozipone at 1 hour and 20.5 minutes. It's kind of an interesting way to say that time, I guess.
All right, well now let's see here if Aaron goes straight to the bat also.
Interesting. Either way, these runners are not far apart at all.
No,
this is going to be close. This is going to be exciting. And I find this an appropriate time then to say, hey guys, go follow both of these runners. Let's get them a shout out in the chat. They are in the quarterfinals of the secondary bracket, top 8. AaronDobbe 1 win away from moving on to the top 4. It's been exceptionally fun watching these guys get up through the ranks and play so well for everybody.
Oh, definitely. It's been a wonderful tournament so far, and it's only getting better the further we get into it. So yeah, definitely give these guys a follow because they deserve your support.
There we go. Ozipone making nice use of the fire rod through the Mire 2 room.
Fire rod really, really helps with those wizrobes.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the more difficult rooms in the NMG run to do really, really quickly.
Aaron,
but
go
if you
ahead
can put about 2
bring in
cycles.
the frog. Sorry.
Oh, that's quite fine. It's just a difficult room to clear efficiently, and Ozipone made very nice work of it.
Oh, definitely. Having the fire rod or sword beams helps because those wizrobes hit like a truck, but they don't have much health. And
Yeah, pretty much
those
one
just
hit will
move
kill them.
randomly.
Even from the fire rod, fire sword, fighter's sword. Even that'll take them out.
All right, let's see here. What do we have? Red mail. In this one.
Red mail located on the things that won't actually benefit from it.
Now, Aaron, gonna check the blacksmith, and then hopefully the next chest or the next check will be the magical bat.
Yeah,
This
he's making his way over
exactly.
there.
Not going back into the dark world to pick up the purple chest first, just going straight over.
You know, on the bright side, I'm noticing that the blacksmiths were at least a 100% return on your investment.
Oh yes, definitely. And there it is. Go mode for AaronDobbe with his curse from the bat.
There's the big key. Fairly quick mire then for Ozipone.
Yes. Very nice to see the big key in that chest. Not quite the God Mire, but very close.
It's a satisfying misery mire. Even let me start that over. I tripped all over my tongue there. It's a satisfying misery mire when you don't have to check the vanilla big key chest, in my mind.
Yes, definitely. Or the spike chest, the blue peg spike chest there on the right hand side.
Oh, the one that's right near the big chest.
Either one of those. I don't have to check either one of those. I'm very happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one can be a little bit awkward to get to. Ozipone getting beat up a little bit by the fireballs.
Just
The
barely
Samaria,
misses the block.
yeah, the block's hitbox is a little bit wonky when you're approaching from below. 'Cause you can stand pretty much like one square below the switch and then lay down some area block, and it doesn't quite get it. And then those fireballs hit you, and it's just not fun all around in that room.
Aaron with his Meyer 2 room was very clean with sword beams.
Oh yeah, he's still got full health, I see.
Ozipone got trolled by that Murderdactyl right outside of Misery Mire when he used the Quake, because the Quake medallion unfortunately does not stop the Murderdactyl from murdering you.
Right. And then, of course, you're still taking damage in the cutscene. You know, I'm actually curious then. I know that if you take damage while you're falling in a pit in the Japanese 1.0 ROM, you take damage. I wonder if the bird thing with Quake is also an artifact of the Japanese 1.0 version.
That's definitely a possibility. I never thought about it like that.
I've never considered that until now.
Ozipone coming in with some NMG strats here for the Vitreous fight.
Doing very, very nice. A collective 3... Oh, you don't want that mirror out. Do not put that mirror out. A collective 3 spins on each eyeball with the Tempered Sword.
Here's AaronDobbe about to get the big key. So that puts Ozipone about 1/2 of Misery Mire ahead of AaronDobbe.
There's a joke in there about that being half as miserable as something, but I can't quite figure out how to phrase it. Where AaronDobbe's only getting like half of the misery. I don't know. It sounded funny to me.
Yeah, he'll catch up with his misery here shortly.
Oh, well, you just took that from funny to sad.
Well, apologies to Aaron with his misery coming. But now Ozipone saving and quitting straight to the Sanctuary, and will be heading up to Ganon's Tower. So you know what that means.
I do know what that means, but just in case we have some fine folk in chat that have not watched a race before, Clifford, would you tell us what that means?
All right, well, we have a game we like to play. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower where the big key can be. Pick a number in chat now between 1 and 22. If you guess correctly, you win my begrudging respect. I always like to guess the Bob chest because Bob's a pretty cool little visual glitch. So I'll go with that.
That's a sound reason. I don't really have any reason behind any number that I ever pick. I just kind of pick a number and whatever key my finger lands on the keyboard, it's just, that's the one.
Hey, fair enough. Everybody's got their strategy to it.
And speaking of strategies, everybody has their strategy for Ganon's Tower itself. Do we go full right side? If we find a small key, it's a possibility. Do we go full left?
I always, if I get that small key, go right side. I feel like the only way to lose a ton of time in Ganon's Tower is to go left when the key is on the right-hand side. It only takes you 45 seconds to a minute 10 to clear the right side, so might as well go ahead and knock it out.
I think lately I've been favoring just going full left. I'll check the 2 on that right staircase and then make a play to full left straight to Ice Armos.
That's 128.18 for Ozipone entering Ganon's Tower.
Interesting to see AaronDobbe using the blue cane to take advantage of not taking damage against Vitreous. And that fight is over with. AaronDobbe has his 7th crystal now, and will also be ascending the mountain.
And there is the small key, so Ozipone is going right-hand side. Oh, and got that Gibdo to walk into the flames. That was nice.
Very nice. It's a bit of a tight timer on that torch room. Ozipone just breezing right through it, though, not even taking damage from that lone spike in the middle.
Excellent execution. Ozipone Saturday night had a very clean Ganon's Tower with only the Master Sword also.
Oh, interesting. I look forward to seeing that then. Because Ganon's Tower is probably the biggest place in the game that can make or break your run.
And the right side not paying out today. So if Aaron goes left side, that could save him a little bit of time.
Well, it sort of paid out. I think there was a 300 rupee in one of those chests. Can you buy a big key with that?
Maybe. I don't know. Is one of these Stalfos guys selling it? I never stopped to ask them.
No, I'm not sure that they would have much to say. They would just jump away from you. So ozipone mirroring back after collecting the small key from the hallway. Gonna head
I guess
full left.
I guess the fire shield is a little bit useful here in some of these rooms.
It has its application, that's true. Still not finding anything more than another small key.
Oh.
So after 10 chests, I don't think that he bonked on the torch either, so that would have been technically the 11th location that he didn't get. So he's only opened 10 locations. So number 11 now, just another small key as well.
Alright, now here's Aaron coming into Ganon's tower.
Oh, ozipone using one of my favorite boomerang strats. Ah, he's got the right idea. Try it once more, you got it. Throw that blue boomerang down, switch to the hook shot, go to the right. I mean, in addition to it being efficient, it looks really, really cool.
So we've got 2 minutes and 19 seconds apart between these two runners entering Ganon's tower.
Well, it would take a lot to knock that down to another 15-second difference, but that's still very close.
He's going left side without going right side. That will definitely
close that gap.
head into that.
And AaronDobbe also choosing to not take the bounty on Bob's life. So Rando Room, ozipone opens it up. We have red rupee, another heart container, piece of heart.
And the big key.
It was. So what is that then? Just 16, I believe. If my math is
Let's see.
favoring
2,
me.
3, 7, 8, 9, 13. Oh no, 17. Right, because he did go right side. 17.
He'll make his way upstairs using regular wooden arrows. Mimics. That was technically Mimics 2 or Mimics 1. This is Mimics 2 now. Making quick work of them. Got hit a little bit. Got hit a little bit more. Then that Mimic got hit a little bit more. And now that Mimic is no more.
Those BMOs very trolly in that room. Oh, nice dash strats getting out of there. Just clipped at the end.
Yep, definitely down to execution at this point, though. Maybe a little bit of enemy RNG. We'll see how the gauntlet behaves. It can either go really well for you, or just can be a total nuisance. First room looked great for ozipone.
First room. That arrow was on point.
Yep, that's one of those like fixed spots that it just kind of works out. Breezing right through the red Stalfos room, my least favorite of them, because they just jump around way too much. Down to 3 hearts, though, we'll need to be a little bit careful.
Still has a red potion, I think.
I think he still does. He'll grab that heart.
If he gets through here, I wouldn't be surprised to see the powder come out.
Yep, good call. All in all, very, very nice gauntlet for ozipone. We'll enter Landmo 2 now.
Oh, got a little bit of trolled by the Landmo's jumps.
And the timing just jumped out at him just a little bit too quickly, I guess. And there you go, Landmo's down. Make his way to the rest of the upstairs. Let's see if he stops with this magic, though. Yep. That bottom right pot always having magic. That top left pot, I'm sorry, always having a heart. And I think the other two have an arrow or a bomb or something like that.
Usually one of them has arrows, for sure.
And you can see ozipone just going and going and going. You can kind of feel it with the way that he's hitting that A button for the boots. He's not wasting any time. These red guards, of course, having a little bit of something to say about that, but We'll make it right out of that room and into the first torch room. Ooh, almost getting knocked off of that edge.
This first torch room is my least favorite room in Ganon's Tower. I hate that room so much.
It's one of those rooms where the quick strat for it, if you stumble on it just a little bit, it kind of throws off the entire rest of it.
Just completely throws off the whole rest of the room. Aaron with a clean gauntlet on his own side.
And he's gonna make his way into this hallway. Let's see if he powders too. He is not. He's just gonna keep going for it. He's got the red potion out though, ready to use if needed.
Ozipone definitely getting the fairies here.
Picks up
another
another
full heart from the pieces.
And here we go then with Lamel. Wow. Maldorm too. I know my bosses. And that's it. Hits him once, gets a
Easy.
swing. AaronDobbe, on the other hand, down to 1 heart. Gonna pick up this one. It's a good thing he's got that red mail. I don't think anything can kill him in 1 hit at this point.
Ozipone not going silvers on just heading straight into the Aga fight.
Yeah, that might be one of those plays where you do check that last chest. I mean, he hit the one right before Maldorm. Maybe hoping for silvers or even butter, just to speed things up a little bit, but feeling confident moves right along.
Aaron heading into that fire room while we've got the Aga 2 fight going on. It's another single for Ozipone.
And Aaron's got to be careful getting through that room. He did a nice job with it. Even these lasers, though, if he happens to get hit. Which he won't. Nicely done. Ozipone done with Aga 2.
That's a nice, clean Aga 2 fight. Some singles and a couple of doubles.
Because the thing that I was worried about in Torches 1 for Aaron was if he gets hit by that fire bar, that's going to do a full heart, plus the damage from falling. That would have been catastrophic for him.
Oh, there's ether for Aaron in one of the mini Helmosaur chests, but that's not what he's looking for.
Now we'll switch to the powder. Get both of these fairies, and maybe another heart container for him too?
It is. Ozipone into phase 2 on Ganon now. Got the upper right hand corner strat, which will be very good.
Wow. Almost getting knocked off. Unfortunately getting a poke on Maldorm, which sent him into his little frenzy.
But not falling off, so that's all that matters. And vanilla.
Just another 20 rupees. So Ozipone now halfway through phase 3.
Once it gets down here, we'll have to do the silverless fight. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. In the vanilla game, you know, you're supposed to beat Ganon with the silver arrows, but you can...
Whoa. Did you see that? Did you find the arrows in my tower?
Arrows behind Ice Armos have to be.
Ice Armos, Bob, or even the big chest.
But no. Oh, no!
Oh, he fell. Oh no.
Takes a fall.
Just got a little bit of an unfortunate placement, lighting that torch and having Ganon stop straight on top of him.
And there is Aga 2 down for Aaron. So we're going to see both of these guys probably going in at almost the same time again.
You know, I could not theorize before for the life of me how this could become a 15-second race again. And here we are. AaronDobbe will be entering the Ganon fight less than 15 seconds from when Ozipone re-enters it.
This is insane.
This is amazing.
I hope you were wanting a close race, guys, because here we are. Ozipone quickly into phase 2.
Quick spin from Aaron, slashing away at him. Should be into phase 2 now as well.
And Aaron will now have the upper right-hand strats also.
That nice top right corner. And since the bosses share the same RNG, although I don't know if that applies to... Yeah, Kazuna's in a different spot now. Aaron not quite getting through phase 2 in one cycle, even with that top right placement.
He hit the ceiling a couple of times, or the wall a couple of times. Ceiling. But here we go.
You don't have an overly large amount of time. It's still a difficult fight to get that cycle on.
Oh, definitely.
Ganon reminding us yet again that the arrows were in his tower. He's just mocking us at this point. Ozipone getting the torch glitch, getting that spin to stun him. Not quite what he needed, but that's okay. It's going to be difficult to watch both screens and count how many hits we have each. Oh no.
Yeah. Dueling silverless fights.
This is crazy. This is probably the closest race that I've ever seen personally, much less commentated for.
It's amazing how close it is.
I mean, both of them are executing this so well at this point.
Yeah, it's just going on both sides.
It's just non-stop. This is, I mean, they're both just playing at such a high level right now. It's just back and forth. AaronDobbe hits him. Ozipone hits him. Aaron hits him again. Oh no, Ozipone!
No!
Oh, that is not what needed to happen.
And that's it on the left side. AaronDobbe finishes off Ganon. Oh, wow.
At the end of an absolute nail-biter, AaronDobbe comes out ahead, winning 2-0 in the series. He will be moving on to the top 4 in the secondary tournament.
What a race.
But let's give it to Ozipone too, who was getting straight back on top of that pyramid without any hesitation.
Going in, gonna finish this off.
Wow. What a fantastic conclusion. On the bright side, we get to see Ozipone's excellent execution just one more time, just as an encore for such a great performance in this tournament.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Put on a great show. Made top 8. That's a hell of an accomplishment.
No, it absolutely is. On the bright side, too, I'll be able to properly count the Ganon spins this time.
Oh, man. That's the worst way for it to end. 2 falls to Ganon. Wow. That's so rough. Alright, almost back into the silverless phase.
There we go, getting the torch glitch once more.
There's one.
Might need to hold out on using the fire rod too much at this point, having only half of your meter with half magic. Still just might have to keep an eye on that. We may see a switch to the lamp at some point. Nice, got a cape spin on that one.
That was a very nice spin. Got another
should
one.
only have a couple more hits left.
Should just have. Hey, there's another one.
And
That's
there it
it.
is. Hit number
Down
12.
goes Ganon. And that will be GG for Ozipone. But hey, looks like we have AaronDobbe in here with us. GG, Aaron.
Oh, thank you so much, Clifford.
Hey, Aaron, congratulations.
Hey, thanks, DT. Wow, yeah, I'm watching the stream now, and yeah, this was a close one too.
It was literally you were both you were behind. Ozipone was ahead, and he fell. Then you entered the fight literally seconds apart for his second time. You were both dueling silver strikes. He was two hits from phase 3 ahead of you, and it was just dueling silverless spins. And then unfortunately, Ozipone ate a fire bat and fell a second time.
Oh no, that's tough.
It was very tough.
Oh man, yeah, that I don't wish that on anyone.
No, it was very rough. What did you think of the seed, all told?
Oh man, this was an interesting seed that I think could have gone a few different ways. Like I was a little annoyed at myself for going near Eastern and then deciding not to enter Eastern twice when it turns out Hookshot and Mitts were there. But I had something in the back of my mind. I was wondering if doing that and thus forcing the cane as my go mode item may have avoided a trip to Turtle Rock. But I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well, it seemed like for most of it, you were just following the crystal dungeons that you were able to get to and fully bleed. It was a combination of beat and
right.
So there was nothing wrong with your routing in that sense. But yeah, understandable to second guess yourself once you finally found the hookshot and the Titan's mitts.
But I think after that point, I mean, I did as well as I could. I thought my execution was generally strong the whole time. It's just that one thing, hiding two of the items, that was what was slowing me down this whole time.
Ozipone actually got those items relatively early, but didn't get the hammer until relatively late because he skipped the ice rod cave.
Yeah, that's why I never skip that one. I will just never leave it behind. The only reason I left it behind at all was because I got the flute and I wanted to activate it and fly over there and finish it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It's just so annoying to route in if you don't get it right away.
It was really interesting that almost from right out of the gate, you and Ozipone were basically going in completely different directions. While you found the hammer very early, Ozipone had gone to Eastern and gotten the hookshot and Titan's mitts very early. And just ultimately then, you guys wound up kind of matching back up. You were both in Ice Palace then at the same time. And then just a minute or two apart from getting the Cane of Samaria, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting to watch this back. Because, yeah, it sounds like we had very different experiences, and it ended up being super close, and it's always fun to see when that happens. It's like one of my favorite things about this game. You can just have totally different experiences, but it might end up only being a difference of seconds or minutes heading into the final steps.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. It was one that kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Well, I'm very glad to hear it.
It was definitely, they were both great races, you guys. You guys put on two great races.
Oh, thank you very much. I see Ozipone's in the chat, so hello and GG, man. This was a really fun series, and you were definitely not an easy opponent to defeat. Probably my toughest time so far.
Just as a note, Ozipone did relay to us in the IRC that he does not have a mic. But yeah, I mean, just start to finish. Always guessing where you guys were going to go next and never knowing because you kept hitting those different spots. You were both on the top of your games with execution. I really can't say more. It was a fantastic race to watch.
Yes, it definitely was.
Oh, thank you again. Oh man, so yep. Somehow I'm top 4 now. I wasn't expecting that. Just looking at some of the names that also made it through groups that I was going to have to deal with, but I'm just really proud of that. I think I've improved a whole lot this tournament, and it's been the result of a lot of hard work and practice. And yeah, I just can't believe it.
Yeah, well,
I'm really happy.
I think I've known you now since the spring tournament, and even before that started, you've improved greatly. It's been actually really cool to see you develop as a player, and you've become really, really good to the point now that I believe you're actually 8-0 in the bracket stage of this.
Yeah, that is true. I haven't dropped a single game yet since groups.
Oh, congratulations on reaching top 4. Ozipone, congratulations on getting to the top 8. That's, like I said earlier, a great accomplishment.
Yeah, you've got a lot to be proud of. You played so well. And
I agree, absolutely.
I was very, I'll be honest, I was very hyped for game 3 and before that second fight.
It would have been an amazing game 3. I have no doubt about that.
It's all it takes is one unlucky hit.
Yeah, that's all it was. It's just 2 really unlucky. The first one, you lit the torch and Ganon was just right on top, and that was just awful.
Yeah.
Oh well, it is what it is, I guess. Congratulations to the both of you for making it this far. Good luck the rest of the way, Aaron.
Thank you so much.
Any other closing thoughts or comments or general statements about the seed?
Oh man, this might have been, I think, probably one of my favorite seeds in terms of fun factor that I've played in this tournament so far, and in general in quite a while for open mode. And also, I just wanted to thank everyone who came out and watched. So it means so much to me. And thanks to you too, Clifford and DT, for the commentary. Thanks to Flaffykins for the tracking, and thanks to Who42 Baker for restreaming. It means so much that everyone comes together and supports everyone who's in the tournament and streams these races for everyone to see.
It truly is the best community on the internet.
I agree. And yeah, thanks again to ozipone for a fantastic series. I'm very glad to have raced you. And I hope you do well in the future tournaments.
Well, there you have it then. AaronDobbe versus ozipone, Game 2. AaronDobbe coming out with the win. Fantastic race. Once again, guys, give these runners a follow. They've done a wonderful, wonderful job. Clearly very good at this game.
Oh, yes, definitely. And with that, I think we'll be just about done here for the night. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
I believe that's the case. So thanks again to Who42 Baker for restreaming, Flaffykins for tracking, Clifford for being so much fun to commentate with.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine.
And I'm in the name of DT. Always good hanging out with you guys for a bit and chatting away. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and we will see you back soon enough for more Randomizer tournament.
Good night,
Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a great night.